Welcome to another Rolled in Reacts episode. This customer came in complaining about a clunking noise after having done some suspension work by themselves. The owner of this car came in saying that the car feels jerky when driving at higher speeds. And this customer had fixed an oil leak in a pretty creative way. This car came in for an oil change after the owner had said that the car has started to tick a lot recently. And this customer came in with poor braking power after he had renovated the brakes on his truck together with a friend. Customerstates was racing a guy at a stoplight and then I heard a loud pop and the car stopped. This customer had repainted the front bumper of his car by himself and came in to see if it was done right. This Dodge Durango came in for an inspection after the owner had just purchased it the night before. Apparently, he had forgotten to bring a flashlight and ended up paying over $10,000 for it. Customer states, changed my own brake pads, but now my brakes are squeaking more than usual. This customer came in because they've had a tire leak for a while and wanted it checked out. And these lifters have definitely seen some better days. And this car apparently makes its very own air filter pasta. And if your oil changes start looking like this, you're probably in trouble. Yikes. This car came in because it had started to clunk a lot after the owner had done some body work on it all by himself. And this customer had fixed their exhaust in a very creative way using some tinfoil and hot glue. This Freightliner Cascadia rolled in with quite the oil leak after the truck driver had hit a large rock while driving on the highway. Apparently the oil tray is made out of plastic on these models, which probably made the whole situation worse. This car came in for its first oil change in 55,000 miles, and this is what the oil filter looked like. Customer states, my car sounds like a purring cat whenever I put it in drive. This customer came in asking if their RPM gauge is supposed to be this stiff. And this car had done a bit of swimming. This Chevy Ecotec engine came in leaking from pretty much every possible place it could leak from. This van came in for some electrical work after it had been flooded with water for about a week, and this is what the mechanic found. And this Chevy S10 came in after the owner said they heard a loud bang while towing a trailer with a 16-foot high concrete penguin in it. Customer states, I don't usually tow stuff, but when I do, there's always a clunking sound. Could you check it out? The owner of this 1999 Land Rover Discovery was doing some engine work when they accidentally dropped a bolt into the engine without noticing. Apparently, he put the engine back together, tried cranking it a few times before he heard a loud metallic crack and had to come into the shop on a tow truck. And this customer had done some trailer hitch wiring on their truck together with their father-in-law, but had to come in because their truck had issues starting. This customer had installed a lowering kit by themselves, but came in saying that they keep smelling burnt rubber all the time and wanted it checked out. And this car isn't British, but still likes to make tea every single day, especially when being driven in the middle of the desert. This truck rolled in for a seasonal wheel swap, but when the mechanics went to take the wheels off, they discovered that the customer had secured the hubcaps with some silicone. And this is what happens when you accidentally shift into second gear going 120 miles an hour. The owner of this truck came in saying, I've got an ABS light, brake light, and the truck has started getting really sluggish lately. Can you check it out? This car came in for an oil change when the mechanic noticed that the customer had done some body and paint work on it, all by himself. Very nice. And this customer came in complaining about their car making strange sounds whenever they put it in reverse. And this has got to be one of those new flexible gear knobs. This 2008 Volkswagen Caddy rolled in because the owner had troubles getting it into gear. The mechanic said that there was pretty much no oil left in the transmission and the transmission bearings were mysteriously missing. And this is how to fix an engine mount while on a budget. Just use some chopped up old tires. Customer states, I think I floored it a bit too hard this time. The owner of this car came in saying that they think their car sounds a bit different than normal and wanted it checked out. This car came in with an exhaust leak after the owner had DIY'd their own exhaust system. And this car had some pretty big thermostat issues. Customer states, my son took the car for a weekend trip in the mountains, but car now has a clunking sound and leaks oil. Please advise. And this customer came in saying that their car has started to sound like a lawnmower. Turns out that the throwout bearing needed replacement. And here's the difference between a new blower motor and a used one. This one runs smooth and pretty much doesn't make any sounds. But this used one, holy moly. The owner of this truck came in saying that he has started getting a weird noise while driving lately and described it as a train going over train tracks. This customer had installed a LED underglow kit by himself, and when asked about the way he installed it, he just went, "Hey man, if it works, it works." And this customer rolled in with their truck because their check engine light was on and the truck wouldn't start. Apparently, it had been thoroughly checked by the owner's friend and he couldn't find anything wrong with it. Turns out that it was missing a few parts. Looks good. Customer states, my car keeps overheating. Please advise. This customer came in saying that they have to refill their coolant all the time, and this is what the mechanic found. And this customer had their truck's automatic transmission in for some work and got it back like this. The owner of this car came in complaining about a clunking sound when driving at slower speeds after having been at another shop, and this is what the mechanics discovered. This truck came in for a pre-purchase inspection after the current owner had said, "Don't worry, she's just fine underneath." Customer states, I ran over a small piece of wood on the highway. Could you check how it's looking underneath? And if your crankshaft and timing chain starts sounding like this, you better have some good insurance. This car didn't come with a trailer hitch, so the customer just welded one on by themselves. This Chevy pickup had some framework done at another shop. Apparently, the shop had only installed one new crossmember but left the other one as it was and just installed a new shock right onto it. Also, they seem to not even have bothered taking off the bed when installing the new crossmember because they just welded the sides and not the top. Very nice! And this customer's car rolled in on a tow truck after it wouldn't start. Apparently, whoever was towing the car had towed it using both tie rod ends, and this is what that ended up looking like. And the owner of this car came in really worried saying, I keep hearing a loud thump whenever I floor it and my buddy said that I might need an engine replacement. And yep, these people are out there among us. Driving on not only one bad wheel, but two. Uh-oh. This customer came in saying that their car handles like a boat and wanted it fixed. And this is a perfect example of how not to work on your truck. Customer states, car rattles a lot during idle, please advise. This car had been taking some swimming lessons but had to come in because it wouldn't start. And this mechanic was doing an oil change on this customer's car, and this is what he discovered. Can you name the parts? This car came in because of a pretty bad clunking sound after the owner had practiced his welding skills on parts of the rear suspension. And the owner of this car had their buddy help them fix the steering, but had to come into the shop because the steering felt a bit loose. Customer states, hit a curb harder than normal, please advise. This mechanic was lifting this car up to do an oil change when he discovered this. There's your problem, sir. And the owner of this car rolled in complaining about a vibration in their steering wheel when driving on the highway. And this car had some suspension work done at another shop, but had to come in because of a pretty bad noise. Customer states, I hit like a stop sign or something on my way home from work and now the check engine light is on. Please advise. This customer came in with a bit of a leaking tire. And the owner of this car came in saying that their car has started to squeak, but not only when their wife rides along. This truck came in with some electrical issues and clunking sounds after the owner had installed some new extra lights and a fender, all by himself. Customer states, need to replace horn fluid because my truck honks when it shouldn't. And this is exactly why mechanics and car engineers always love each other. This customer came in because they had apparently been backing out of their garage when the garage door had started to close by itself. This car came in with a rattling noise and a coolant leak after the customer had installed a new water pump by themselves, but had accidentally forgot the gasket. Customer states, hit a hole in the road and wheel feels different ever since. And this customer had just replaced the ball joints at a different shop, but had to come in because of a clunking sound. The owner of this car had tried maxing it out on a dyno, but said that they think they were redlining it a bit too long. This Chevy Colorado had to come in because the owner said, my windshield is always greasy. The mechanic discovered that they had put sunflower oil instead of washer fluid in the washer fluid tank. And this customer rolled in with their car complaining about a clunking sound after their best friend had just installed new struts for them. Surprise, surprise! And this customer came in with their pretty new Hyundai complaining about an intermittent rattling noise. Customer states, car feels weird ever since I hit something on the road a few weeks back. Please advise. This car was in for an oil change at another shop, but had to come in because the owner had a really bad rattling noise when driving. And the owner of this 2020 Jeep Cherokee came in saying, was driving through a shallow river, but ever since, I keep having this strange noise. Customer states, whenever I go to pass someone on the highway, I get this strange thump sound. This customer came in really worried, thinking that they might need an engine replacement after they've had this sound for a couple of days. Luckily for the customer, after a new pulley was installed, the sound disappeared. Customer states, my turbo doesn't go anymore. Can you check it out? And this truck came in because it wasn't running right, and this is what the mechanics found. Turns out that a valve spring had broken on cylinder 6, and unfortunately the customer had to get a whole new engine installed. This customer came in saying that they keep getting a strange sound during idle. If you have any idea what could be causing it, let us know in the comments below. The owner of this truck came in complaining about a loud whining noise after they had towed a trailer full of sandbags. And this customer had replaced the head gasket all by himself. This customer had apparently left the mechanic a little snack as a way of saying, "Thank you for working on my extremely filthy car." And this customer had just picked up his new Dodge from the dealership when he accidentally lost control of it while trying to drift around a corner and ended up driving straight into a higher curbside. Customer states, my father-in-law helped me install new brake calipers, but now my brakes feel weird. Can you check it out? And this car was in for an oil change when the mechanic noticed the state of the tires. When told about it, the customer apparently just said, "I think I'll be alright for another 2 years or so." This customer came in saying that their car is loud as hell after they had it in for some work at another shop. And apparently, this truck had more than just one owner. This Mercedes-Benz E350 rolled in because the owner complained about a really wobbly steering wheel when driving on the highway. Customer states, car lock doesn't always do what I want it to do. Please advise. The owner of this car came in complaining about a really strange sound coming from the wheels after they had tried to do an alignment by themselves. Yep, looks good. And this customer came in saying that either you fix my air vents or I will have to apply for a flying permit. Customer states, my AC doesn't blow as great as it used to. The owner of this car came in saying that it has gotten harder and harder to put the car in gear the past few months and wanted it checked out. And this car came in looking like this after the owner had heard a loud pop when driving home from their vacation home. This customer came in saying that his car has started to sound like a toy machine gun. And this truck had some of the best knock-knock jokes the mechanics had ever heard. Customer states, I have a really bad noise when braking, but my brakes aren't even that old. And the owner of this car had challenged their friend to a tug war, and this is apparently the result. When your oil filter starts looking like this, you're probably a little bit overdue on your oil change. And this is exactly why you have to get new tires after a while, even if the tires look good at first glance. This customer came in saying, whenever I turn right and try to roll down the passenger window, something strange happens. Nice. Customer states, was driving a bit on a dirt road, but ever since my car clunks a whole lot more than normal. An undercover automatic. The owner of this car rolled in complaining about a vibrating steering wheel after having balanced the wheels all by himself. Beautiful. Customer states, my kids all have back problems after riding in the car with me. Turned out to be an electrical problem where the rear seats folded down whenever the turn signals were used. And this customer came in saying that since last week, their truck has just refused to start and wanted it looked at. And the owner of this car had just installed new wheel bearings by themselves, but had to come in after one of their front wheels had driven right past them on the highway. If you have any idea what might be causing this engine noise, let us know in the comments below. Customer states, my car doesn't accelerate as fast as it used to. Please advise. Ah, a hookah engine. This customer came in saying that their car is clunking more than normal after their friend had borrowed it over the weekend. And this car had some issues with their transmission. This older customer had apparently just gotten his first electric car and came in because he thought it was time for an oil change. Customer states, it's been getting harder and harder to shift the past few months. When you're just that determined to get every last mile out of your old tires. The owner of this car came in saying, I can't tell how fast I'm driving, please advise. And this car rolled in with quite the list of expensive issues. Customer states, need new door latch because door just won't stay closed anymore. This car owner came in wondering why his brakes were squeaking. The brake pads were apparently almost like new. Customer states, every time I use the turn signals, the rear view camera turns itself on. And this car came in with a bit of a leak. The owner of this Toyota came in saying that it had started to make strange sounds after he had tried maxing it out on the highway the night before. This Mercedes-Benz C-Class was apparently owned by an older gentleman who had borrowed it to his grandson for a couple of months, but had to come in with it because it had started to handle like a boat full of potatoes. And this car apparently makes its very own chocolate milkshake. And this is what happens when you only change your oil every 55,000 miles. Customer states, someone keeps calling me all the time when I'm driving and my transmission has a weird noise. This customer had done some suspension work by himself and came in because he wanted to know if everything looked alright. And the owner of this car came in saying that he don't need no smartphone to find his way anywhere. He only uses tech that he knows will work no matter what. And this turbo has definitely seen some better days. Customer states, my tires have a pimple problem, please advise. This customer rolled in complaining about a misfire and that his car is barely running during idle. And sometimes you just gotta give it a good slap until it starts working. This Corvette came into the shop because the owner complained about a clunking sound when turning, and this is what the mechanic found. And this customer had came in and said, just give me the tire rotation and don't try to screw me over. Customer states, car runs rough and doesn't accelerate as it used to. Please advise. And this car came in sounding like this. If it works, it works. Uh-oh. This car came in looking like this after the owner said that they hit something small on the highway. And this diesel Ford F-250 came in because it wouldn't start after the owner accidentally put AdBlue in the fuel tank instead of the AdBlue tank. This vehicle came in because it had really poor acceleration after the owner had done a bit of drag racing with it.
Living in America.
This BMW M5 came in with some starting issues after the owner heard a loud bang when driving back home from work the day before. And this customer had apparently tried to fix a coolant leak all by himself using some top-grade stop leak. Looks great! This car came in because the owner said it kept overheating and leaking coolant, but they just couldn't figure out why. This customer had done his own yearly service, but had to come in because he now has a burnt paper smell when driving. Customer states, "My car barely has any brakes. Please advise." This customer came in asking if their truck is supposed to sound like this. And the owner of this Volkswagen had fixed his headlight all by himself. And if you don't change your brake pads frequently enough, they eventually just become one with the rotor. Customer states, "My car is a bit louder than normal. Please advise." This customer rolled in saying, "I can't figure out what's wrong. I just renovated the brakes myself." This car rolled in with some starting issues after the owner and his friend had installed a new sound system a few weeks prior. And this customer came in saying that he was driving really fast on his way home from work, but then he heard a loud bang and the car just turned itself off. And this car came in because it was clunking a lot after the customer had it in for some suspension work at another shop. Customer states, "I always do my own repairs, but I just had to come in because I can't get rid of all this smoke I'm getting while driving." And this vehicle came in with a bit of a leak. And when shipping takes too long, you've just got to work with what you got. This car came in after the owner had been on a trip to the mountains, but while going up a steep hill he heard a loud bang and then the car just stopped moving. Sounds great. Customer states, "My wife took the car for the week and now it doesn't want to start. Please advise."
Very beautiful, very nice.
And this old Volkswagen rolled in because the owner complained about it making too much of a pataka taka taka noise. And this truck had gotten itself a couple of new owners while the customer was away on holiday. And this customer came in saying, "My truck doesn't want to stop popping popcorn. Can you check it out?" This car came in on a tow truck after the owner had been racing their buddy at a stoplight the night before. This customer had their car in for a yearly service at another shop, but had to come in because they now have a misfire. And this customer came in saying, "Steering has started to feel really loose lately. Can you please make sure it's not something serious?" Customer states, "I'm getting a weird smell in the cab. I'm thinking it might be a burnt wire or something." This car had just been in for some suspension work at a different shop, but had to come in because of a clunking sound. And this customer came in saying, "You know, I had a clunking noise for a while, but I fixed it myself." "Yeah, looks great." And the owner of this car said that where they live, there's not much asphalt on the road. And this poor car hadn't had an oil change in God knows how long. Customer states, "Had a brake light for a while, then my buddy helped me fix it, but the light just came back on yesterday." The owner of this truck was driving on the highway when he suddenly heard a loud pop and had to pull over. This is what the mechanics found. And this customer had installed a new oil pan gasket by himself and wanted the mechanic to make sure everything looked right. And this car had new brakes installed at a different shop, but the owner had to come in the next morning because the brakes caught on fire while he was on his way to work. And when you don't want to listen to your mechanic, it'll sometimes end up costing you either way. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.